Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Yoshi Lan, and we're going to be talking about beliefs. Okay, so this is something that I really wanted to know when I was doing my inner healing work and all this other stuff because if you've already been doing your spiritual work, you'll know that there's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions on beliefs and what beliefs are. Actually, not even what beliefs are, just how to get rid of them. But you don't really get rid of a belief. It's not something you can just get rid of or just stop thinking about and then it stops affecting you. That's not how it works. So, in order to work with a belief, we first must understand what a belief is, right? Because how are you supposed to work with something that you don't really understand? There's different kinds of belief. The one that I will focus on in this video is what I call a mindset. So, this type of belief is something that is a collection of statements that have been made throughout your life. And these statements can either be identical, okay? They can be identical or they can be similar. And they're usually universal in nature, right? One of my friends that I often talk to about spiritual stuff is um, not saying I'm clumsy because that's a universal statement and it forms a body of mindset. Because how often she said this in the past was very frequent. So maybe every 5 minutes or so, 5 to 10, maybe 5 to 10, 15 minutes, I'm clumsy. Oh, I'm just not um very coordinated. These are all very similar statements. But the most common one is I'm clumsy. And when you say that over and over again, it creates resonance. So each moment in time is its own frame and it has its own energy. And the past affects the present as the future affects the present. But if you have this mindset that you have created, all these different statements that you have said about yourself, you're only reinforcing that mindset. And this mindset is what people call a belief about yourself that you're not graceful. Okay, this is just an example, by the way. Just an example. This applies to anything. So if you understand this, then in order to shift out of this, you can say things like, "Oh, I used to think." Okay, because believing isn't a thing. There's no such thing as a belief. I think, I used to think that I'm clumsy. Okay, so very, very clear. And the reason why I say there's no such thing as believing is because when I look at the energy of or the action of believing something, it's really no different from thinking. It's a much more rigid version of thinking. It's a thought that has solidified and stagnated. And if you understand spiritual concepts, then you'll know that stagnation is not beneficial. So I'm just tossing belief out of the window entirely. The act of believing. Okay. Also, when you believe in something, you block yourself from further understanding things on a deeper level. When I started destroying all my beliefs, my understanding of spirituality and energy and reality and all this other stuff increased even more because it encouraged me to take a look at the stuff that I had known and understood and see if there's other perspectives, other ways of looking at it, maybe deeper levels of looking at something in order to learn even more about reality. So, when you don't have a belief, you open yourself up to understanding on deeper levels, more expanded levels, however you want to say it. So, that's why I don't believe in anything. I think, I know, or I understand. Or I don't know and I don't understand. This that's those are all the words that I use. Very simple because that's how reality is. Reality is quite simple. But people make it complicated by all these different words that we don't really need, like cogitate, ruminate, all these other words, meditate. Let me meditate on it. What the hell does that even mean? Okay. Um, Cognition, you know, let's cognate a bit. None of that is necessary. Think, know, understand. Those are the only ones. So if you understand this, okay, when you catch yourself saying something that is not nice about yourself, make sure you're aware of it, because each time you say it, you are reinforcing a resonance of your mindset. Do you want it to be true? Because each time you're saying it, you're telling the universe as well as your mind that it's true. So it's up to you. This goes into my next video, which is going to be about free will. The more beliefs you have, the less free will you have. So the reason why is because they're related, right? A belief is a mindset. Mindset is a particular way of looking at something, and it blocks all other avenues. When you say very negative things about yourself, like, oh, I'm mean or I'm heartless, what is your point in saying those kinds of things? Is that really what you want to be? Okay, so that's enough about mindset and beliefs. You can start unraveling it at this very moment just by being mindful of what you say about yourself. And perhaps you can say it in a more compassionate way, maybe in a more factual way, right? What does it mean to be heartless? If you specify more in a more factual way, then your mind will understand it better. And then it's like, oh, well, if that's what it is, I'll just stop doing that. And then I can not be heartless. I can not be clumsy. Because everyone can be graceful. Everyone can be coordinated if they want to be. But it goes with the mindset, this whole mindset aspect. What kind of resonance do you want to set up for yourself? Because the past doesn't just go away. The past energies are the foundation of our present and our future. So if you start unraveling these things by changing and shifting the way you speak, the words you use, as well as what you say about yourself, you will radically change your reality, as well as radically change your own personality, your own experience of reality. It's amazing. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be around to talk about free will. So keep your eyes out on that. And also, I would love if you supported my channel by subscribing to my channel, as well as liking my videos and also sharing this with other people, because I love talking about spiritual stuff and also sharing my spiritual experience and the stuff that I have learned so that people can avoid these types of traps. It's really not possible to just get rid of a belief overnight or on the fly at the turn of a leaf. It's not possible. It is a process. And there's another type of belief also that's even more damning and even more difficult to work with. But it is something that you can work with once you understand what it is. So I'll also make a video on that, and it's about fractals, soul fractals. All right. See you around.